So this is where the question, what's in the case, comes in. I don't think we're ever really going to have an answer for that. It's a mystery. Whatever you want it to be. It's his boss's dirty laundry. Got the Pulp Fiction reference there. I guess you probably don't need me standing here, huh?
No, I will not watch.
We took a lot of cues from a lot of different directors from what we were trying to go for aesthetically. There's a little Tarantino, Rodriguez in there, obviously.
Lynch.
There's a heavy Lynch factor. David Cronenberg is one of my favorite directors. So
Jim Jarmusch as well.
There's a little bit of Cronenberg in there. Jim Jarmusch is a big influence on Robb.
Dead Man, the black and white film with the Neil Young soundtrack. Kubrick as well.
And
there's a lot of Kubrick.
There is a heavy Kubrick influence, and especially with that one shot of Trevor as he walks up the hallway to meet Taylor in Act 1, and that hallway is actually where a friend of ours lives, and we had gone there for a house party while we were still in the planning stages for this, and we walked out of that house party and said, we are totally shooting something in this hallway for this scene, because I loved those pod lights on the walls, and it felt so much like the hallway from The Shining, and I was just like, I need to shoot something in this hallway, and sure enough, it's one of my favorite shots in the entire thing. The top-down stuff that we did that was very Wes Anderson, and I'd been going on like a Wes Anderson binge at the time when we were starting to film that, so like I was like, oh, like we should totally do like a top-down. She's got the ring and the thing, and like there are so many influences and so many layers that it is very much like that whole Alice in Wonderland Lewis Carroll thing, and that's why we do thank Lewis Carroll and David Cronenberg and David Lynch at the end in the end credits, just for the influence that they did have on us when we were trying to develop this organization for how everything ties together in these alternate realities and drug tripping and weird shit.
Yeah. You know I was a prop master too.
So everything you just did was exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, I just looked at where the fuck did I put the lid now?
We were going to do it with another.
Does Ryan have the lid?
But no, let's just knock the shot.
Does Ryan have the lid to this?
I don't know.
It looks like whiskey. It's not like soy sauce.
Are you making drugs?
It's not like soy sauce.
Is that what
You
you're doing?
have the cap, right? Okay. Is that dark enough?
This is how we make drugs.
It's a little more like,
It's not quite, but what does it look like on the other camera?
because the soy sauce is like.
And I think the washroom scene with the Bob character in Trevor when he's having an overdose, for me is very like Shining. It's this creepy old school horror. Even like there weren't any special effects, like the way that Ryan put that sequence together was like, you know, we kept the camera stationary, we shot me in the mirror, I stepped out. It was a very old school way of editing scenes, which I think makes things very creepy and very naturalistic, and I like the way that really turned out in the game as well. It was very The Shining. Again, speaking of movies, it's completely fucked my head. It's just, yeah, it's hard. It's been hard to watch some of these scenes, not just because of like the personal references, but just because of how creepy they are. Like I don't do well with those things. So, Ryan probably
I
hasn't,
eat that up.
you haven't probably noticed, but sometimes when we've been editing scenes and you're sitting there looking at the screen, I'm kind of just like, because I don't want to look directly into my own fucking eyes in some of these scenes.
There's just so much of this film that I don't even think I'm gonna be able to watch it this time. I wrote the fucking thing.
I'm not too familiar with the bartender character. Since you're the writer, maybe you can inform us. Is this the kind of bar establishment that Trevor would be frequenting? Is that
What, are you playing on that whole autobiographical element here?
Well, I don't know. There was like there was very, very clearly a I don't want to call it a brothel per se, but Twin Peaks didn't quite have a prominently placed pleasure lodge.
Pleasure Lodge.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Great.
See
Dude,
ya.
that's how it works. Alright, just the brains. The brains have just melded into one by this point.
It's been a very like brainy process to make this film. Like to think
It's
about
made
all
me-
the layers.
It's made
like,
me
it's-
reevaluate a lot of
it's-
my perceptions. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Reality. What is reality? That's
Yes,
good.
yes. That's not a spoon. See, that's not even a cup. It's not a cup. It's not a jar. Either.
There is no cup.
No, there is no cup.
That we got. Because we don't have that, we have this. We've got the clamber, we've got the track. We're doing this right now. Ow! Fucking. Fuck!
Fucking fuck.
Fucking.
It's really interesting as well. I find that house symbols and plays on this mirror palindrome 1111 theme came up without us even intentionally trying.
It's the film speaking to us.
Yeah, like the opening sequence with the chord, in order for it to fit and loop like a bell ringing, it ended up just being 11 times.
And that was not initially intentional. It was literally, we spaced it out to see how many we could put in there and just have the chord ring out. And it fit 11 times before the voicemail started. And we were like, well, this was supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm. And we also, unbeknownst to us, had 11 production days for shooting.
And I mean, we've had a few other outings that we've had, but they were not full outings where we'd go out for a full day. These were just like, let's go and shoot 10 pickup shots and go and like grab some color for this thing. Then we're going to build out this scene.
I'm not here to entertain you. Are you not entertained?
It's permit.
Show you my.
I got your permit right here. That's it.
So, I mean, like, 11 production days on a movie called 1111 is just really fucking weird.
And we also had days where we finished shooting and we looked at the clock and it was 11:11.
Ominous,
There.
as Trevor would say.
Yes. Well, does Trevor use the line ominous?
He uses ominous when he talks about palindromes.
Oh, yes, palindromes.
Yeah.
Ominous. I don't know why they're ominous. Trevor's such a pup.
I feel like we're choreographing a Bob Fosse dance number right now. I'm waiting for the flamingos and the giant feathers to come out.
Well, you know, you date enough dancers, I guess you learn how to steal the moves. Because in Act 4, you're going on the subway, and you think back and you have a memory, and we show the scene again. So like it's still like the one thing you're hanging on to that was like, no, maybe this was genuine. Like that was a really beautiful moment. So think of it in that way. It's kind of like the last line, the remote part by Idlewild. The last line of that album, the last song is, even if the breath between us smells like alcohol, call it confusion in the best way possible. So that's kind of the moment, that's the space that you're in this point. So, yeah. That's what we're working on.
I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. And then what's your phone number?
Pull it up. And up. Good. The phone call is coming from inside the house. I think this will be a fun film to watch the second and third and fourth time. I think the point of this film was to allow the visuals to tell the story. The songs, the dialogue, everything was meant to still just to enhance what the visuals themselves were doing. And I think Ryan really went on a tour de force with respect to the shots and the framing, and it's like eye candy, like visual porn. Like it's pretty phenomenal, the kinds of shots that we got. And I still look at some of them and just, whoa, that was just a camera like this. And so it's pretty great. Thanks, Rob. This is the scene where we start making out.
Yeah. We're gonna cut the camera for that. Though. Yeah.
That'll be in the extra DVD special.
You have to pay extra for that.
That'll be in the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special edition director's cut.
Uncensored. Yeah.